Hey there team. Okay, in this video I'm quickly going to introduce 3 punches and 2 leg techniques, a kick and a knee. Okay, the 3 punches can be jab, cross and a lead hook. Let's begin with the jab. Okay, when I throw a jab, obviously there's different kinds of jabs, but we're going to focus on a fundamental pure jab just at the moment, with no extra additions to it. So I'm going to be in my MMA stance, rear heel off the ground, nice and comfortable, high forearm position. My fist of my front hand, this hand, is simply going to fire forwards. There's a little bit of rotation, mainly at the moment of impact, so that my knuckles are more or less vertical at the moment of impact. And my arm then comes straight back to where it began. So this is a deconcertina motion, and it means that my fist moves in the shortest distance, a straight line between its beginning guard position and the final point of the punch, hopefully having made contact with their jaw. So the jab. There's no footwork, I don't need to rotate, I don't need to rotate my shoulders. I can rotate my shoulders with the jab to get a bit of extra distance. I can also lean to get a bit of extra distance. But I don't need those for my pure fundamental jab. So for the most basic, pure fundamental jab, deconcertina the arm, piston the fist straight out into their face. Boom! Obviously I want it to be fast, so when I'm doing my shadow boxing, I want to try and be relaxed, trying to flow with it. Jab. Cross. The jab sets up the cross beautifully. Having thrown a jab, I'm now in perfect position, perfect posture to fire the cross, the right hand, from my jaw as I rotate straight into their face as well. The finishing position for the cross here is super important. It's important that my non-punching hand is up by my jaw. It's important that I'm looking down the barrel of the gun along my arm at the target, and that my shoulder here is obscuring the chin so that I'm not at risk from a shot coming in and landing on my chin. Notice that my hips have rotated and my hips are more or less horizontal. I haven't reached over twisting my hips up this way, I've simply rotated them around that way. And in order to make that happen, I've got to let my heel rotate. My knee points in very slightly. So from the finishing position of the jab, I fire out the cross, still with good balance, looking down the barrel of the gun, and finish the punch. So, ready for my jab first. Jab, cross, finish the punch back to my original guard. Okay? Let's add the the lead hook onto that. So the finishing position from my cross, from my right hand, sets up the hook very nicely. It begins with the feet. So my heel of my rear foot is going to come to the ground at the same time as the heel of my lead foot is going to twist up and round. That's going to make my hips rotate rapidly from facing that way to facing that way, and that causes torque in my spine, rotating my shoulders and firing my hook straight out in an arcing, in a hooking motion. I need to get a 90-degree angle between my forearm and my upper arm. I want a 90-degree angle between my arm and my chest, and I want there to be a 90-degree angle coming up in the rotation on the floor as well. So the finishing position from the cross into my hook. When I throw the hook, the hand position is really important. We can throw the hook with palms in, we can go palms down, and there's all kinds of variations. We can throw a Euro hook or a jabbing hook, which come out much longer. In terms of safety, wearing MMA gloves, we want to train ourselves to throw the power palms in hook as our default hook, and we can go to other hooks later when we become more educated in our punching. So the power hook, knuckles in. So to review those 3 punches, jab, cross, hook, there's a jab, there's a cross, there's a lead hook. Notice the jaw protecting my chin at the end of the lead hook, and hopefully my shoulder up into the slot of the jaw on the other side as well. Finish the punch, ready for movement, rear heel off the ground. If that rear heel comes onto the ground, it kind of glues my back foot into position and makes it much harder for me to rotate my hips. So when I throw the cross, if my rear heel is on the ground, it almost inevitably forces me to reach. Also, when I'm trying to do my slip left, slip right, if my heel is on the ground, it just slows my movement down and means I can't move my head side to side quite as fluidly. So a really important detail is to keep that rear heel off the ground. It doesn't come naturally, so you've really got to think about it, and when you notice, or if your training partner notices, gently remind each other, get that heel off the ground for mobility into your stance. Okay, jab, cross, hook sorted. We're going to add the short knee and the leg kick. Low leg kick. Key detail for the low leg kick is to rotate on the other foot. So I'm going to throw a low leg kick at the bitomic pad. I'm going to step onto the ball of my foot. My rear hand chops down and my other hand protects my face. So again, my foot steps, I go onto the ball of the hook, this hand chops down and the other hand comes up to defend my face. I then recover back to my stance. When we've got a training partner here, I'll show you how that works, actually kicking the low leg kick into the leg. The short knee. In Muay Thai, the rear knee isn't a short knee, it's a long knee. And I want to fire it up and extend forwards, extending the hips forwards in order to drive the knee a little bit further into the target to get more of an impact. In MMA, the longer I stand with one leg up in the air, the easier it is for my opponent to scoop it and hit a takedown on me. So I want to minimise that extension time and instead use it as a short knee. When we're teaching it to beginners, the most likely application here is somebody shoots for a takedown, so level change and shoot, and in response to that I hit a short knee. That's going to discourage them from shooting again in future, and if they really commit to it at the same time as I throw the knee, it's going to land. But I want to really concentrate on bringing it back down again afterwards. I don't want to leave it hanging out there, making it easy for them to catch. Okay, 3 punches, 2 leg techniques. We'll review the leg techniques with Coach Ed when we've got him down here tomorrow. Okay, more coming later. Team Hardcore, let's go get some.